Hello and welcome. This is the box office review show. We may change the title in the future. We're not exactly sure, but I'm going through all the box office for a particular day or time period. We're going to be discussing April 17th and 18th separately for a movie called Breakthrough, starring Chrissy Metz of This Is Us fame, Josh Lucas, Dennis Haysbert, and Topher Grace, and Mike Coulter, among many others, with a faith-based movie. So what this show is going to do is going to present its obviously its weekend gross, how much the movie's made, the day-by-day gross as much as possible, in particular for this movie and other movies going forward. The other ones I only have the Friday through Sunday because I wanted to do this as simple as possible. This may have to be a two-part video because I already did one already. It's running quite long. Breakthrough was released on Wednesday and Thursday to kind of get in with the Easter holiday there. And I work with, I'm going through the data at one particular theater in the Mid South, I guess you would call this region. I don't know, more like kind of it's in the South. So what we're going to do is try to find the data for other theaters as well. I'd like to find one in particular, like in Maine or Massachusetts, and then ideally somewhere on the West Coast. And then I basically would hope to get the data of other theaters as well. I want to have this to be a very unique show, really discussed by the numbers and things like that. So you can look up each movie that I'm going to bring up. I'm not going to go into detail on each movie, the plot and everything like that. But Breakthrough, obviously, boy falls through the water, inspirational faith-based movie. Wednesday through Thursday, nationally, it only made $1,230. Maybe not that many people knew about it, but in this particular theater in the South, as you would expect, it made 1,672. So as you can see, that's quite a large difference between the two numbers there. And had Breakthrough been more traditional at performing at that level all across the country, obviously it would have made, instead of 3.5 million, it would have been closer to 5 million. So as you can see, this is quite an interesting subject matter right now. We're going to see about the regions of the country and if more people were like that region or this region or what region, how movies would actually do. I find it to be a fascinating subject, and we may start bringing in international numbers as well because that's even more relevant actually. Breakthrough Friday or more topical, I guess. Friday through Sunday on Breakthrough, but the whole country, it made $3,931. That's only in my opinion. That's crazy because here in this particular region, this one theater, it made 6,792. So that's a weekend total of 11.1 million. But had every theater been maxed out like how Breakthrough was down here, then we'd be talking about Breakthrough almost being the number one movie of the weekend. So that's how different things are. It would be actually edging towards 18, 19, 20 million, and at that token, impacting the gross of other movies because there's only so much money to be spread around. In my theories on this particular weekend, but hey, now we're going to all that being good, made 11.1 million and 3.5 million on the total, so a total of 14.6 Wednesday through Sunday. Obviously, that total would have been a lot higher had every region been as spiked with these numbers. Yeah, that's pretty much a given. Movie that's underperforming, called Little. It's performing well nationally, but underperforming in this region. $1,544 for an entire theatrical run, Friday through Sunday. 3,169 in other theaters. So it's making double nationally what it's make. Speaks for itself there, I think. So like on that token, like if every theater was performing like Little would be a flop. So it's barely a hit now, but it's a complete flop with those numbers as I'm presenting them. Something that's even more easy to chew. Hellboy made 3.88 million this weekend. If every theater in America was reflective of how this theater here in the South was selling tickets, Hellboy would do 578 tickets, dollars in tickets. That would be roughly, driving uh, his drop even further from 3.88 to, it's even 1 or 2 million. So that would be the record for the biggest drop from one movie making over 10 million and then dropping to like 1 or 2 million. That doesn't happen. As it is, it dropped to 3.88, but couldn't even scratch 4 million, which is embarrassing. The movie's only made 19.7. It's going to get its head handed to it come Wednesday or Thursday for the opening of Avengers. It's going to lose all of its theaters, and Hellboy will be on demand within weeks, in my prediction. Hellboy made $578. Last weekend, I believe it made like 3,500 per theater per theater at this one particular theater, and it made only 578. So that is the record for, as far as I've been observing this particular theater's box office, the record for the biggest week 2 drop that I've ever seen. And it didn't really lose theaters. I mean, it lost the theater, but you would think, yeah, sure, it's going to lose 50%, it's going to lose 60%. It lost like 80% there. So that's really interesting data, in my opinion. Going over to Dumbo. Dumbo was really impacted by Breakthrough because nationally, Dumbo was still the movie that people chose to see on Easter, as a family. $2,109 per theater average on a whole. And then only 1,724 here because everyone that's at this particular theater, Dumbo's done not well, but it's done okay, better than its average. In my opinion, I think it would be it's only at 103 million, 102.6 right now. So it would be like more like 120 million if every theater was performing like how this one is. So I find that to be really interesting. It's a 28% drop from last week. It only made 6.8 million. It's gonna again. Disney's going to eat up Dumbo next week because it wants to. It wants to have all the theaters. It might even lose, 1,000 theaters, something like that. Maybe like 600, 500, something like that. So we're going to talk about one more movie, and then we're going to spike it into another video here, and hopefully we can get this done under 20 minutes total. Missing Link, this one particular theater, it struggled to make 820 in sales. It struggled to make 820 dollars in ticket sales. Nationally, it's made 1,271. I don't know how it did that because it really struggled to sell these tickets here. It weekend total was 4.4 million. It's 12.98 million overall and dropped 26.5%. Dropped 26.5% from last week. So that means it's at 13 million. Some of these other Leica movies have made 30, 40, 50 million. Some have made 20, 30, 40. It's going to be a bomb, but it's not as big as everyone seems to be saying. That and Wonder Park are going to not eventually turn profit in ancillary markets, but they're going to, I don't know, it's not going to be a wash ever, but it's going to be not the big turkeys that everyone's making it out to be. Shazam, on the other hand, I find to be a pretty big turkey. And I find it really ironic that those in the big box office sphere out there, I'm going to do one more movie, then we're going to spin it to the next one. I find it really bizarre that these people in the box office sphere out there are continuing to say that it only needed to make 300 million or something like that worldwide. Well, it's laboring to 121.3. And you know what? Avengers is coming out this week. So I think it's going to struggle to get $132 million domestically. Like it's going to make from its 17.34 this last weekend. It's going to make like, 7 or 8 million this next weekend, I guess. I think it could even make like 4 or 5 or 6 million, to be honest. So it's going to have a huge drop. Huge drop. An associate of mine named HC, she mentioned that it was the worst timing for Shazam to be put out there. And she doesn't work as a professional movie news analyst or anything like that, but she's very sharp with these numbers. And to be cutting apart your pie or your available audience by putting your movie in front of Avengers. Now, La Llorona, we'll get into that in the next video. It knowingly did what it was doing, and I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to discuss Warner Brothers strategically because, I mean, now that I'm saying that, those were both Warner Brothers' New Line figures, and they ate up each other right before they're going to get eaten up by Avengers. So her point was very strong, saying that they really put themselves in a bind, putting themselves 3-4 weeks out ahead of Avengers. It's like it's only made 121 million to this point. It's not going to make more than 140. There's no way. It's going to make like 132 to 135, in my opinion. So we're going to stop this. We're going to go on to the next video of the box office report for April 19th through 21st and some other discussions as well. Thank you so much.